One of my guests has offered to start with a word of prayer, and I would oblige her today and allow her to start today with a word of prayer.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Nubian. Thank you for allowing us on your program. And before we go into anything else, we ask God guidance and blessings on these proceedings. Heavenly Father, we come before you, dear God, giving you thanks and blessings for another opportunity, another day to say, thank you, Lord. We know, dear God, that we're already in the middle of our day, but thus far, dear God, we are eternally grateful. We want to thank you, dear God, for the opportunity that has been given to us to have this program so that we can enlighten the general public as to our new developments, to our management traffic plan. We are grateful, dear God, for these experiences and for these times when we can just come before you and to give you thanks. We want to have persons to get into the program, dear God, and for them to understand what is going to be happening. We ask, dear God, that you give them listening ears, open their hearts and their minds to accept whatever it is that is coming before them. And so, dear God, together we're going to do it as a nation. These mercies we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen.
Well, today, the poster was out. We have two officers from the police force. That's what it is. Correct.
Yes,
this is not the first time we are having personnel from the police force on our show to discuss very, very important matters. And today, we found it fitting to have officers who are in the traffic department to come and expound a bit on the new traffic nuances, to give us some more insight as to what they are doing to help us at the end of the day. Persons might not understand, so that is why we're having this dialogue. I know and I can testify because I've seen it. We have had too many bad traffic accidents over the last couple of years, and I'm guessing these are measures that are taken to protect us on the road, to protect pedestrians, whether you're walking, whether you're on motorbikes, whether you're on pedal bikes, whether you're driving. These measures are to protect us at the end of the day, and there's a bit of concern and a bit of squabble about the new measures that were taken, and we found it fitting to invite them to come to expound a bit, explain a bit, and as Donnelly said in her prayer, just not listen to answer, but listen to understand the measures that are being taken. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Sergeant Maguire.
Maguire, that's right.
And
Yes,
Inspector Donnelly to the show.
Good afternoon, all.
Right.
Good afternoon. So, as Nubian said, traffic is indeed a hot topic.
Correct.
It has always been a hot topic, but it has become even more so in the last few. I don't want to say weeks because I feel like in the last few years, many
Right.
times we have sat here on Hot Topics and discussed very serious traffic accidents in which people have actually lost their lives.
Right.
Right? We have spoken about road safety. We have spoken about, the need for people to slow down, take their time. I remember starting off SKN today every morning telling people, take your time because we don't like to, bring that kind of news to the public. It's very depressing. Now,
Yes.
Donnelly, in your prayer, you spoke about a traffic plan. So tell us a little bit about that plan.
Well, let me just say something just before Donnelly starts on the traffic plan. Today is not about politics. Today is about traffic, and people like to mix both.
People like to mix politics and everything.
So today is about traffic, and we asked them to come here to discuss traffic. I can't see how we could correlate or mix politics in traffic, but today is about
certain
traffic.
somebody could find a way.
Today is about traffic alone. So, Donnelly, you could take it away.
Yes, thank you very much
You
for
could
having
pull
us.
the mic a little
Pull the
bit.
mic closer to you.
Thank you so much for having us, and we are at your disposal. We are grateful for the opportunity having to speak to the general public. Some persons have the tendency to just speculate and not knowing the information. And so we want to get the information out there. As a matter of fact, when I spoke to Sergeant Maguire and told him that Nuben has invited us to his show, and I said, are you up to it? And he said, sure, Donnelly, anything to get the public in on it, and persons are having concerns and persons are making bold statements and so on. And so we want to clear up anything that the general public may not be enlightened about, may not be aware of.
Right.
We don't want anybody to guess. We want it to be on point with the information. We may not have all the information now that persons may ask, because remember, we cannot tell persons what question to ask, but what we can do, what we don't know, we're not going to just sit and say we don't know. We are going to make notes and try and come back with the information, which means then that you may have us
Part two. Yes.
We may have a part two.
Correct.
Right.
And maybe we need a regular program. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, you know
a
what?
regular conversation about traffic.
Right.
You know what, Sister Sensei would have reached out to me and would have spoken about getting a regular program on your radio station. We have not spoken anything in recent times, and so we did not put anything to it. But we are presently at ZIZ on Wednesday morning, 8:30 until 9, and on Monday morning from 8:30 until 9 at Win FM. Those timing are very short, and so we don't get in much.
Right.
At the end of the year, it gives Sergeant Maguire, who will be the person who will be taking over from me at traffic, because I guess by now the general public knows that I'm leaving, and so for him to add your radio station, Freedom FM, into. So maybe at the end of this program, you can have a conversation.
Most definitely.
Right, so that they can, for the start of the new year, they can make a space for freedom. Because the more information we get out to the general public,
Correct.
It's better for the traffic department. And the Freedom radio station is a popular station. That
It's number one. Let's just say
I don't that person different. So it would be good for us to have a spot on your program.
Definitely.
Now we spoke about the traffic management plan. Now, in anything you do, there's always a plan. Sometimes the plan that you have in place do not always go the way you want it to. But when it comes to the traffic management plan, there are things like, and that is how we would have now put in place the photo radar, because that is a part of the management plan. More signage, getting more traffic lights, changing some of the streets, naming some streets, making sure all the stop signs are in place, making sure that all the road markings are in place. And so these are the things that we have in place with our traffic management plan. However, money is always a factor. And so speaking of signage, these are things that is going to be very costly. And so as we speak now, we are moving ahead. As a matter of fact, we have just gotten over 100 signs at the traffic department for us to place in different areas. Persons are complaining that there aren't enough signage, whereas this photo radar is concerned. But Mr. Maguire, who is more familiar and more versed with the topic, will speak to when we get to that part. So all of these things are what we have in place where the traffic management is concerned. Speaking about having dialogues, radio programs, going to the schools, making sure that persons are informed at an early age to make sure that things go in place and the way we want them to. And so that is part of what we have in place for our management plan.
Okay, sounds good. So before we move on, I'm going to ask what some people may find is a controversial question, but there is a notion that the traffic plan, is set about to make money. Whenever people see police officers on the road, they figure,
Treasury law.
Yeah, government's broke. They're trying to get some money out to the citizens, right? Is this the case?
No, that is not the case.
Okay.
But we can sit here and debate, and we can sit here and say whatever we want. Once people already have whatever it is in their mind, we can speak from now until Jesus come. Persons are still going to believe that the treasury is low, and the police are there to make sure that the treasury come back up to speed.
Okay, so y'all don't get no calls and say, listen, we need some money this year.
But that is not the
We're
case.
laughing, but that's the perception.
I've heard it.
Right?
Our aim is to let persons understand that the photo radar is just slowing down to save lives.
Okay.
And that is what we want person to understand. And so Sergeant Maguire would touch on all of that and give person the insight and the information that is required for them to understand. Persons may and may not understand what Mr. Maguire said when we are saying it's not any money. I mean, money is involved because when you have persons hitting like 70 miles per hour, and that is money, you're talking about $650, because the minimum cost for a speeding ticket is $250.
Right.
And so when you have persons hitting 350, 500, 600, that is a lot of money. And so persons would think in their mind and that it's a money-making scheme. And also there are some persons who, and I could share this with you, in going through the tickets with the photo radar, you have persons running the same route and getting tickets on both occasions, going back and forth. Same person, same day.
So we get 2 tickets in the same day?
2 tickets in the same day. And that is happening. And so that is these things are going to come out in Mr. Maguire's presentation. And I have to speak to Mr. Maguire because he's the senior person and he's the person who has more information and more insight on the photo radar than I do.
Okay,
So
so
Mr. Maguire,
Sergeant Maguire, you're up.
Yes.
take it away.
A lot of us know you from the DARE program. So
Yes. In relation to the traffic management plan, everything hinges on the overall strategy of the Royal St. Christopher Navy's Police Force. And there are 7 pillars of this strategy. One of the pillars are road safety. And so from time to time, the main function of the traffic department is really the enforcement of the policies that are being put in place in relation to road safety, guided by the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. And so we enforce wholly and solely the various obligations in the Act to ensure that we achieve the objective of road safety. And so outside of that, you have that the traffic department will come up with what we consider monthly our objectives, which is to direct the traffic management of the planned and enforcement of the law, as I just said. Public education is a very critical part of it, and so engagements like these, we use the opportunity to inform and encourage persons in areas how we can really work together as citizens in terms of your own civic responsibility within the law in relation to achieving that overall objective, our strategy of road safety.
okay.
So education is a critical part of it. You have also the prosecution of offenders. Obviously, there will be offenders because there are persons who find themselves in terms of by way of their behavior, their actions, might find themselves in conflict with certain obligations, civic obligations, responsibility that the law would have set as rules. Like, for example, you have rules of the road And so there are certain, as a driver, there are certain things that you can do and you cannot do. And sometimes we may tend to think that when there are the do's and don'ts, that there is some reasoning behind it. The ultimate reason is because if you do something that you should not have done, it's going to have a result. If you did not do something that you should have done, it will still have a result. And that is why most times we get accidents. Now, when there are accidents, research has shown that at least 98% of the accidents that are caused are as a result of human error. Misjudgment, some distraction, something that caused that. Very few accidents are mechanical failure or as a result of the environment where there might be some kind of obstruction, hedges and a blind corner or something like that. And so that is one of the things that is very important to note, and that's why there is always a need to have laws in place as to how one can really regulate the free and efficient flow of traffic so that everybody can get about their businesses in a very safe way. And so that is what traffic is really tasked to do, ensuring that there are proper signage that are in place and making sure that where the signs are, they are in place where they should be in place.
So they're
to
visible.
Assist, right, so they are visible, and to assist with the communicating, the forewarning, because you will realize. And I found that because people say that there are not enough signs that are erected. And just yesterday, I did a simple exercise on my way to Hall Road, starting from Bastia, Martin in Rams area, to my destination, to see how many speed signs. I focus on speed signs. There are other signs like school zones and those kind of things, but people are emphasizing speed signs. And I was really amazed that between Martinley Height and Old Road, right by the police station, there are 8 signs, either the indicating to you 20 miles per hour or 40 miles per hour in the case of Old Road Way. And so that is just a demonstration that the signage, there is sufficient warning as to how to properly use the road. Not only that, between that distance might have been about 6 miles, and then it will take you about 15 minutes to get from where I indicated to my destination. And so that gives an idea as to how much signs are in place and how much persons are being forewarned as to the speed in the certain areas. But yet people are still saying that there are insufficient signs. And so that is part of the function of the traffic department, to ensure that there are sufficient signs to give warning, and these signs are placed in the area that they are placed. The problem is that persons don't pay attention to the signs. That's the reality.
But
people just pass through and they don't really.
In general, where would be a 20 mile per hour sign and where would be a 40 mile per hour sign?
Right,
Because most times people feel as though, well,
Right.
from Rams, that's a main road that you're supposed to be able to do 40. So when you gotta do snail pace on a main road, like Kim Collins Highway, you say, well, this is a highway. What's the highway mean? You're supposed to be able to go a little bit.
Yeah, why am I going
Faster.
40?
Why am I going 20? Because and it says 20, and I believe on the highway it says 20 in some directions and 40 in the other direction.
Right, yes. And the way to understand that, because in St. Kitts and Nevis, there are only 2 speed limits in the law.
40 and 20.
40 and 20. And the rule of thumb in distinguishing what is a 40 mile and what is a 20 mile is simply where there are towns and villages, like within Bastia, the precinct of Bastia, and villages, it's a 20 mile zone. And other areas that are basically have not a lot of residential built up, but it's straighter and you don't, because the thing about it, we know what happens in a village, how the villages are. They are very close to the road. You have children and everything. On certain highways and so. You don't have to think about that because, like going Canada, for example, or Kim Collins Highway, you don't have that. And so in those areas, you will see, well, you have cattle. And that is why sometimes you have to be careful. But I'm just saying that the speed limit allows you to drive a little faster.
So Kim Collins and the bypass should be like 40.
40.
Right.
F.T. Williams Highway, after you left the airport roundabout, traveling towards Gillard Gas Station,
right,
up to the point before, at the roundabout going towards Gillard's, then the 40 ends.
Right.
And so the 20 begins. That will take you right through to the next roundabout at Buckley's.
At Buckley's, okay.
And so that, people used to complain a lot about going down the hill and police giving ticket at 20 miles. So all
by the
that
bridge.
area is
That's by the bridge.
By the bridge.
Okay.
All that area is 20 miles. Now, the thing about it, one of the things is that the villages are very close together. So how do you know the start and the end of these signage? Is that at the beginning, at one point, based on your direction of travel, you will see a sign, either yellow or white, saying 20 miles. And you may not see that sign again until probably you go into another village. So when you are entering and when you are leaving, you will have a sign indicating to you your speed. And so if that speed changes, then you will see a sign saying 40 miles. That means now that you can travel a little faster than you were traveling before you would have seen the speed sign.
So when there's a change from 40 to 20, is there a sign that says reduce speed to 20 miles per hour, or the sign just changed and said, well, 20 miles per hour?
In most cases, you just see the sign. So
Okay.
when you see the sign, you know, well, okay, this is I can increase here, and when similarly to the 20 mile, you know, well, you have to decrease. There might be some areas that you see signs saying slow and so on, especially in area where when you are approaching school zones. I remember the Ross University, they were very, very, very integral into implementing a signage project. And so we would have gone around through the islands and established where school zone starts and where it ends. And so if you drive through St. Kitts, you will see some areas indicating school zone, some distance within the village or the vicinity of that school direction, and so on. So we believe that we can continue. There is a need to continue to improve the signage, but we believe that there is sufficient warning and sufficient signage in place to adequately inform motorists as to how to really achieve that safe driving mindset. And so when we get to the part in relation to the radar and so on, is you will understand that the whole focus is behavioral change. Why behavioral change? Because as you alluded to earlier, that there have been some accidents, serious accidents. Last year we would have had 11 fatal accidents.
Wow.
11 fatal accidents.
And some more than one person died.
Right, and some that involve multiple deaths. The thing about it is that where you have, like for example, in 2024, over 1,000 accidents that we would have dealt with, over 1,000. And a very high percentage of those are a result of from speeding. And so when you look at these indicators, then you cannot, the strategy has to be improved, assessed and be improved, and that is how you will come up with different ways. Now, we hear a lot of chatter in relation to not enough information and not enough time to say about the photo radar and things like that. But the reality is that speeding and speed limit has been, what I will say in time immemorial, a very long time. Everybody is aware of it, but the thing about it is that people just ignore the signs. Now that we found a way, we implement a way that we can really bring about a change in behavior, then the concern is why we are not being told where they are.
But then,
Why there isn't some sign to say camera ahead.
But then, and I'm happy that you raised that issue, because there are some countries that will say, for example, in the UK, you will see speeding camera ahead. Right? Slow down just to warn people or to change their behavior.
Right.
So why aren't we going in that direction?
We are going in that direction.
Okay.
It just means that we are at the initial stage.
Oh, so we're not there as yet.
We are not there as yet. And I'll tell you why I think that we are not there as yet. Even when you have physical police presence on the road doing the hand radar, then the message in this social media age and so on. So we know that drivers get the messages because we see how they crawl towards the police. I mean, sometimes we find it amusing, because even after they crawl towards the police and they pass the police,
they're gone again.
They shot again. They gone again.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time, especially with bus drivers or omnibus drivers. They do that all the time, whether deliberately, intentionally, or just to say, well. And sometimes people think that because you pass the police, you cannot be clocked. You can be clocked. Because the radar is equipped to capture your speed leaving and coming. Even with the photo radars now. And so on. They take your photo if you are coming towards the camera or if you are leaving the camera. And so on. So the thing about it is that the whole thing of the photo radar is really, one, to reduce the frequency of the physical presence of police officers. Is not that we will not still be on the road. We will.
That's another question that I've heard.
We still are going to have a presence, but it will not be, perhaps not as frequent as, because when we are on the road, people are complaining of getting to work late and police are holding up traffic.
I have complaints about that. I mean, I'm going to be honest, 8 o'clock in the morning when you're going listen.
So it's not that we are not listening. We are listening and we are finding ways.
And the stop and search. I understand the need to stop and search, but Lord, sometimes.
Yes.
Especially for me, I'm not carrying anything. It becomes frustrating, right? Because you have to go where you have to go sometimes, and it's like traffic backed up. And I live in an area where the traffic is backed up every single morning. So to put police in the mix, I understand the frustration.
And I myself understand the frustration, because I live in Cayon and I have the same problem at morning. But now with MacPhail, it's worse now because persons are calling where I could leave at home
20 minutes before.
That can't happen anymore.
Correct.
So now you're still being late.
And I swear some of these people can't read the speed what you call it, the speed
The
meter?
speedometer?
The speedometer. I don't think they can.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that once we have the time. Once time comes.
Definitely, we need
But
to
I
have
was
that
coming to the point
conversation.
how everything is shifting.
Uh-huh.
You know, so we are coming from a situation where we are having what we think is too much speed, too much reckless driving.
Have we gone in the other extreme?
And now it's,
Sometimes I feel as though it's some people cars reading kilometers per hour
And they
there
can't
is
make the
miles per
conversion.
hour, and so you
Yeah.
find somebody saying, well, may I want to pass 20 kilometers per hour, 'cause that's a 20, and so let me stick at 20.
Right.
But really it might be 20 miles per hour instead
Right.
of 20 kilometers per hour.
yes. And so since that we're discussing it,
You can get a
the-
ticket for
it-
going too slow?
No,
Okay.
no.
You
No.
won't get a ticket, but it's an offense to be driving too slow, Mr. Maguire. Am I correct?
Well,
What- as
Yeah,
an
I heard
as an,
that.
as an
as I
exa-
know, there isn't any offense of driving below the speed limit.
but bear in mind,
Probably on a highway.
as an examining officer myself,
Right.
and I'm doing a road test with you, the speed limit is 20 miles per hour. You give me 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, I'm going to fail you for that because you're tying up the traffic.
Well, it's learning. You're learning. That's a different circumstance. That's a different circumstance. But yes, so there is a way how one can distinguish the kilometers per hour and in relation to the miles. You just have to bear in mind that what you can do mathematically is that the 1.06 kilometer miles per hour, sorry, you times that by
20.
the 20, for example. Yes.
Sergeant?
Yes. I'm
We
just
live in
explaining
a
what we-
society, just to
I
be
know.
frank, and I ain't even trying to be funny. I'm
Right.
not.
Yes.
But we live in a society where we don't like maths.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That is
So we do not like maths, right? So I think
So if I put it simpler,
maybe we need...
if I put it simpler, right? 32 kilometers will be 20 miles.
So can we get like some social media posts, maybe from the police force that has the conversion already, so people can internalize them, memorize them.
Right,
So
we can
they'll
do that.
yeah, because they ain't going to we
Yes.
are not going to calculate.
Right.
But for the age drivers, the older drivers who might not really understand.
Or we could put out PSA on the radio and that kind of thing as well.
Yes.
Because some people just, again, what the man said, the math's too hard. We had an entire calypso about that.
Right.
We are not inclined to make
Right.
those fast
Yes.
calculations.
So for our listening audience, since that two speed are within our law, the 20 miles per hour and the 40 miles per hour, so the kilometers per hour, if you're doing 64 kilometers per hour, that's 40 miles per hour.
Okay. So,
Right.
guys, 64 will be
64.
equivalent to
40.
40 miles.
And 32
Right.
will be equivalent to the
See,
20.
20
Nubian is an
miles, yes.
engineer. He's, you know.
Right. I don't calculate it. I don't sight
Yeah.
because my
Yes.
tachometer is in miles per hour
Right.
and
Right.
kilometers per hour at
But
the same
there's
time.
the more modern vehicles are in
Yes.
only in kilometers.
Kilometers per hour.
Right, because I had a lady came to traffic and her vehicle was like that, so I had to explain to her. So there are persons who do that.
Yes.
They will come and they say, well, help me understand so that so what I try to walk them towards, because anytime you start hitting let's say 70, 80 kilometers, you're going
Too fast.
above
the speed limit.
because remember, within the law, there is a 10 miles. A lot of people probably don't know that.
At 10 miles above and below.
Yes.
So-
So the thing about it, in a 20-mile zone, you only you can be ticketed when you drive above 30, even though it's a 20-mile zone. But as an internal policy, we do not enforce. We enforce only when you're driving above 40 in a 20-mile zone.
Okay.
And so
That's
I
reasonable.
hope that people understand that if you're in a 20-mile zone, you really don't have to drive at 20 miles. Because people are complaining that, it takes them so long to get to work and so on.
It really
because
does.
because the thing about it is that you feel compelled now. And we like that because at least we are seeing the result of the behavioral change.
Right.
In fact, since the photo radars has been in place, the accident has significantly decreased. A matter of fact, the photo radar is in place now for about 2 weeks, going on 3 weeks since we made the announcement. And we have had accidents, but fender benders, we have not had any serious accident. And I'm subject to correction because they're still having the Sister Island, Nevis, and the out district. But in terms of Bastia and the outskirts, Stapleton and Keon, I'm not aware of any serious accidents since that. So we already see. And so the photo radar is really a tool for reducing speeds. Research have shown really that in locations where these photo radars are placed, you can reduce accident between 8 to 60% of the accident that might normally occur in these areas before the photo radars. Overall, when you have photo radars in place, you can decrease accidents, serious accidents, injuries, and fatal accidents from by 10 to 60%.
Wow.
In relation to that. So the photo radar is really an effective tool for achieving that objectives. And so, speaking about behavioral change, people are calling for the identification of these photo radars and where they are placed. This as part of the strategy for achieving our overall objective of road safety, we have an element of surprise component in it, in that we give you all of the information that we think is necessary for you to know, except when they are interchanged and where they are placed.
So the
whole objective, they are interchanged. They are interchanged.
Because every day we get messages saying, this is where one is, and that is where one is, and that
And sometimes when they get the message,
they don't move.
Sometimes I read my social media, and when I see this thing and so on, I laughed at it because, that is really the whole thing. And so
somebody just messaged me and said, Jamie, I ain't working out no math. So what is it? What does it?
I don't know. We will be able to. People will call us.
Yes,
yes, definitely.
In a while, we will take a commercial break, and and then we would allow
but we wanted
persons
to
to call
get
in.
the information out there first.
So as we basically discuss about the instrument and how it operates, perhaps when we come back as we go along, I can explain more so that people understand how it is. I'm sure that persons would have seen something on the police Facebook page that was posted that is an offense to, in terms of the removal, the damaging, or the interference of these apparatus.
People removing them?
Well, the thing about it, we hope that it doesn't get to that point.
Oh,
But we
okay.
know that there are instruments that can
Yes.
work advertently,
Or you mean like a blocker or something?
like a blacker
Okay.
jammer and so on and things
jammer,
like
yeah.
that. So then there is a public announcement that
Yeah, I
has been
saw that.
on Facebook, because that can amount to an offense, and if that is happening, and we hope that we get the collaboration with the other law agencies like the customs to ensure that these are not allowed to import it and to be used for an illegal in an illegal manner. And so the whole thing is that as time progresses, then we will and we are seeing the behavioral change, then perhaps we can put up the indication, the warning that cameras ahead and so on, like indeed more developed
But then how would
countries
that
and so on.
work when you're changing the cameras, when you're moving them
Well,
around?
eventually,
Oh, you know, you could. Anyway,
eventually we will have
idea on the air.
we will have sufficient.
So you don't have to
enough.
move them around.
Right, so they don't have to be moved around. And then by the time persons now basically have
Adjusted.
adjusted in relation to the speed, and so
No.
that is something that we can work towards. But for now, to drive the behavioral change is the element of surprise.
No, there were some conversations about cameras being a part of the traffic lights. Is that something that we're still looking at?
Well, yes,
Because
definitely. Because
I've said this not just because you're here. I've said this that sometimes the light is red and it's like stop if you want. People,
Yes.
especially late in the night, it's like I don't really
Right.
need to stop.
Yes.
You know, so
and you know what is interesting? These are conversations that we have been having before time, and
Yes.
people have been making this suggestion because they are saying, well, bring in cameras and so on, and this is what is happening now. Now the cameras are here.
But I think
Persons are
people were
saying,
just
well,
kind of taken aback because they were not informed. People feel like they were not properly informed
Right.
that this was the case before
But
it happened.
we are not sure. We are not sure because the thing about it is that the thing is we understand the need for engagement and continuing engagement, but we are not sure as to what people mean when they said, well, we were not informed.
They
because
wanted a
there
press
wasn't an
release
element
to
of
say
surprise.
that from the 28th of October at
Correct.
1 o'clock,
You got to drive 20 miles per hour.
yes, or you will be ticketed via a camera.
Oh, okay.
That's what they wanted. Like, as of this date, we are now moving towards doing this, so prepare.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And
Now
well,
I understand.
just before we take a break, we're going to take a
Yes.
break soon, I wanted to touch on something else just outside the cameras. It's the animals. It
Right.
has been an issue for years.
Just recently we had an accident.
Correct.
Not one.
Well,
Two.
one, I believe one in Tabernacle.
Yeah, they kill a
Okay.
horse.
Right, a horse in Tabernacle and a cow
At Wellington.
on Wellington
Yeah.
Road. The animal situation has been an issue for years. Is there any movement towards that with the agriculture department?
Well, the
Well-
agriculture department did put out a notice about that,
What?
saying that the defense force will be collecting the animals,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll have to pay to get back your animal. If you decide that you're not paying, then the animal will either be sold at auction or
Okay.
But that is in cases where they are registered.
Yeah.
The animals are registered, because I think that's if I know with the dog acts, for example, then you will have to register at the agricultural department.
Right.
And so part of that registration is that there is you're being given either a tag or a chip.
Correct.
And so once you are able to
Identify.
trace that, right, it
Back
will
to the
give
owner.
all the information of the owner.
Because
And
like
so
in
on,
that
so-
traffic accident, if my vehicle is insured third party, then I basically got to fix back my vehicle, because then at that point
and
in
when you knock
time,
down the animal, they don't belong to
but
anybody anymore. you know.
exactly.
They don't have any owners anymore.
So if I knock down Jamie's cow and my vehicle, the damages on my vehicle is about $20,000. My car just cost $1,500. I mean, I'm going to own that.
Exactly.
I remember one time a taxi driver, I was working at St. Paul's, and whatever happened, the car probably run into the bus. And so the taxi driver tied the train, and the taxi came to the station. And he said, well, he doesn't know the owner. So he's going to take the car to the abattoir, butcher it, sell meat it, and get money to repair his vehicle.
Right.
Somebody just sent me a correction. I said that they wanted a press release. So I got the press release. I'm not certain what date this press release was issued, but it says coming soon, photo radar speed enforcement on our roads. The traffic department wishes to inform motorists that photo radar technology will soon be introduced. But the thing is, people they want to hear soon, they want a specific date.
And somebody just sent me a text to somebody knocked down a cow in Keyon yesterday morning.
And I'm seeing something about in front of the Dean Glassford, and a cow right in front of Dean Glassford and the deck here. And that's in St. Peter's. But, yeah, so we can take the commercial break.
Correct,
right?
yes. And then we open the phone lines on the flip side.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming.
When life throws surprises your way, now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip. With Now, you get cash in a flash, approved in just 24 hours.
Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
Reliable, dependable, Delta.
If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
For life's finest moments, celebrate them with Skol Premium Lager. Pure malt, pure class, pure perfection. Skol, class and perfection in a bottle.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low-interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind. Whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow, SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Hey
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
We are back. As we mentioned, the lines will be open at this point in time. Numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. That's 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Listen, today we're speaking to police officers, so, you have to be a little bit more respectful today. Because, I know sometimes
you could get locked up easy.
Yeah, and we're going to recognize the voice.
Exactly.
So let me check. The lines are quiet at the moment, maybe because nobody wanted, they ain't wanting the politics.
No, we ain't going to mix politics with this story today.
The lines are quiet, but somebody says on the Facebook feed, I still think they should put a photo radar and camera signs up. Even though they don't have any radar up, they can still put up the signage and make people slow down. Yeah, you could do that, just put up the sign them all over, photo camera here, and, people will just slow down even if there's no camera. Let's go to the phone line. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Jamie. I am very glad that y'all are doing this show today because I have a traffic concern that's really getting to me. Now, that stoplight on Baker's Corner, the one with Convent School, the one I mean?
Yes.
Yes, the one with Convent School. Something really needs to be done about that. Now, the issue is people keep running the stoplight from Pond Road, and they don't realize that when you run the Pond Road light, by the time you get to the Convent School road light, that light is changing green. And because of where I work and where I live, I use that stoplight every single day. And every single day, I see people do it. I've literally almost gotten in 5 accidents there already. Because when my light is green and I'm moving forward, somebody is running the red light. And so by the time they get to me, I've already changed. And then what? Who's going to be blamed for the accident? So something really needs to be done in that junction because it's just a matter of time before somebody kills somebody and then, everybody upset. But something needs to be done because people keep running that light. And by the time you get to the other one, somebody coming out into you or somebody coming into your side.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know what Donnelly them could do about that, but it's been a concern that has been bugging me for some time. So, Donnelly, I know you're the best. If you could do something about it, that would be great.
Okay, caller, thank you. Another junction that is very dangerous as well, at the bottom of Sandown Road and the Bay Road.
By Sol gas station.
They don't stop. The people on the Bay Road literally don't stop.
Yeah.
Let's take this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I recognize this signage on the road for 20 miles per hour in school zones. But my thing is, school don't happen at 12 o'clock in the night. So why is that sign have to be 20 miles per hour when you drive in 12 o'clock in the night? That's my question.
So, Carla, are you suggesting that we put a timeline for that? Even though the sign is there, we put that.
Let's say up to 6. Say you want 7 o'clock. But let's say from 9 o'clock in the night. Imagine you coming home and you have to drive 20 miles per hour. Somebody run out in the bush and rob you. So I think that sign 20 miles per hour in a school zone, 12 o'clock in the night, is ridiculous.
Yeah, but nobody could rob you at 20 miles per hour. You're not walking Carla.
Carla, thank you so much for that contribution. And I think sometimes we forget that Ross University is in a school zone as
Right.
well.
Yes.
Students adhere late at night
Right.
as well.
Exactly.
So, in just primary schools, we're talking about the high schools have children doing classes
Yeah.
late at night and so too.
And like we said, that most of the time where the schools are located is in villages. And so the thing about it is that even if that is sign, you have a sign with limitation as to when it is enforced because of the children in that school, then it doesn't change the fact that that area is still a 20 miles zone. Yeah.
So people just be reasonable. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
So it can be.
Hey, turn down your radio for me, please. We're getting a feedback.
Sorry. I have a problem with the stoplight there by hospital, Valleymat up there by the gas station. When you have to cross, I never see changing from green to red, nothing. You forced to cross, especially when you're walking. I don't see change to go up by the
Okay, so for the pedestrian sign.
the pedestrians, yeah, crossing. Sometimes we have to run go past the road. When the lights change, we run go past. And that to me is dangerous when it comes to children.
Okay.
So somebody please look into that?
We will look into it and see.
Thank you, sir. Me as a parent, I am concerned because I walk out there and it's very dangerous when you have children.
Okay, caller, thank you so much for that contribution. The lines remain open at 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Can you turn down your radio, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I drive it. My input is the sign is that you are putting up, right? If you could put it like you got your miles and your kilometers, like you say 40 miles, 20 miles / 32 miles per hour. You got me? Hello.
Yes, I did hear you.
You see, like you put up 20 miles per hour. You got your 20 and your sign. 20 and the miles per hour sign / 32 kilometers. You got me?
Yes.
You do the same thing for the 40 as well, so going forward. So, people understand clearly. 40 miles are 60. How much kilometers again is it? 32? 64? 40, 64 kilometers. 40 miles, 64 kilometers, you said, right? Hello?
Yes.
So, you understand what I'm saying? You can put both miles and kilometers. Just put a slash.
Okay, caller.
Well, I will have to investigate whether that would be appropriate in the context of the law, because in our Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, it only speaks to miles per hour. So I will.
Yes, but okay, I agree with you. But the new cars coming out got kilometers, so you have to cater for them. Just put a slash then the conversion for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Right. Yes, cool. It's the same thing, same mileage, same thing, same speed.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, caller, thank you so much for that contribution. The numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Call in and share your concerns. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, good. I'm one who want to commend the police for their moves. We could add one to the list. I think there was a spirit of rushness in the island, and the attempt at behavioral change is very commendable. People nowadays seem not to wait, particularly on roundabouts, and all you call talk about waiting on the red light. I don't know where everybody is thinking rushing going, because it's a small country, 68 square miles, 22 miles long, 5 miles wide. Wherever you want to go and think it's a point, it will take you 10, 15 minutes. So stand a little earlier and adjust. That's my first comment in terms of commending the police. So chuck up one on the positive side, please. And I'm urging you to continue to take on the suggestions of people. For instance, the guy spoke about variable speeds for variable time. That's a good suggestion. The one about putting the kilometers per hour along with the miles per hour. Even though the logbooks may be hard and fast, a lot of it has to do with common sense and initiative. There's nothing wrong in putting the claim page as well. The other comment about animals that one of your panelists raised, you have to take it back to your higher ups, because I believe, and I know from experience, that this is more of a national effort, not just police and agriculture. Because, as I said before, we only have 68 square miles, and each successive government is of the view that putting housing is the best way of staying in power. And so a lot of the lands, a lot of the agricultural lands have been lost. And the farmers literally have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. I repeat that in bold letters, capital letters, and reading. And so it's not just police and agriculture. It must be a overall, all-in effort to come up with a solution for that. Let me add in monkeys as well. The farmers and the monkeys provide the farmers. So that's just not just two departments or two ministries. To me, it's supposed to be a national effort to curb this problem. Land for that's what I think one of the parents should have really picked up my voice, because I was in a position where I was given the instruction to remove farmers from a particular area because this particular institution needs their land to do the development. My question was, where am I going to put them? Where am I going to put them? So here I was supposed to go and tell farmer Nubian with 10 cattle and 25 sheep and 15 goats, you got to go. He has nowhere to go. Soon those 10 cattle can be a scourge on the road. So again, I repeat, take it to your higher ups that you need to engage not just the Ministry of Agriculture, but probably all the other ministries to get that and the problem with monkey solved. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, caller, for that contribution. I have a few questions, that people sent in, so I want to ask some of them at least, right? Someone says, while I agree that ignorance is no excuse for the law, why aren't there enough road signs in and around the outskirts of the Bastille region? As we can see, time has changed over the years, hence the need for updated technology to enhance faster services. For example, technically enhanced vehicles. Why are the road signs all in miles per hour and most vehicles are in kilometers per hour? Another one is their website for the traffic. And somebody else wants to know, why is the communication about traffic and the laws there are only secluded to one radio station when there are other radio stations like Freedom, in my opinion, which has equal and higher rates for listeners? So, Sergeant, you're hearing what the public has to say. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Freedom FM?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good afternoon, Jamie and the panelists. I want to ask a question to Maguire, the ticket master. When you are on the road doing traffic stop, because I observe it sometimes, you all will have a phone or maybe tablet. What is the purpose of the phone and the tablet? In terms of, is there an app that you all go to see if one have valid license or the vehicle insured? Is that the purpose?
Ticket master?
I'm not.
What I will say, and you know, technology has been a very major thrust in our traffic management system. And so we continue to improve and utilize technology for better efficiency, speed of information, and access to information. So whenever we are on duty, there are means as to how we get what information that women need to have away from the office.
Okay, someone says continue working for us. Rastaman, I think Nubian, I think they mean you. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just want to ask a question first of all. When you are by the old treasury and you turn up to come up by the clock to go up 4th Street, there is traffic converging from Liverpool Road and Bank Street. So I'm asking, with the 3 intersections here, which who have the right of way?
On the furthest right, I think.
Okay, let me see if I understand the question, and so you can let me know. You're speaking about you're now entering 4th Street from the Bay Road?
Yeah, from the Bay Road, from the old Treasury building.
Right. Bank Street, down on the Bay Road and Liverpool Road. Who I'm guessing the question is, who has the right of way? If 3 cars got to that intersection at the same time.
Yeah, by the circles.
Right. So you're coming from Bank Street. You're coming up from where Royal Bank was. Right. Or you're coming from Liverpool Road.
Right.
Who has the right of way
So
between
you're
those 3
speaking specifically to the circus area.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you always give traffic to the right. Give way to traffic on the right.
So that means coming across Bank Street have the right of way.
Yes.
That's going to create a problem. And come and tell you why. You have a traffic light down by the old Treasury, right? If the traffic light is green, signaling that traffic can flow, and the traffic flow in coming up by the clock, and they are to stop because a lot of traffic coming from Bank Street, that means the whole traffic back behind you is going to be held up even though the light is green.
That is possible, but remember traffic
no, not possible. It happens all the time. That's why I asked.
Okay.
Because it happened to me a few times. I am there, and the light changes, and then persons now who's supposed to come down from this area coming down, they can't go nowhere because the cars them coming up is already in the road. Come, let me make a suggestion to you. You're coming out of a traffic light, coming up. Anything coming from Bank Street, just because you place that light there by the old Treasury, anything coming from east or west should wait. And so that the traffic will be flowing, so there won't be this congestion where the light is. Because imagine the light green and nobody can move because the vehicle that is in front have to be waiting for a line of vehicles coming from Bank Street. So, that could be adjusted. Another thing, I wonder, do we have to go along the roundabout when we're coming from west, going east, at Baker's Corner? I mean, I could see if we are taking a left to go up by Manchester Avenue, going up there, I could see that we take the left and go up. But if we're going straight to go Pan Road, do we necessarily have to go along the roundabout in that small little area? Because I think what will happen when you go along the roundabout to go onto Pan Road, something you're so far over in the road, you feel like you're going to run into the vehicles them that is coming from east to go west. But if you could go straight, it will prevent you from having to take these tight locks and thereby, really lessening the potential of you maybe butting into somebody going wrong there. Right? And the last thing I got to say, Anagan, you hesitated a bit when the gentleman 2 callers ago had called about the slash in terms of MPH and the KMH, and you say you have to go back because there's something on the book that is miles per hour. Then, if that is on the book, then you cannot be letting in vehicles into this country then that don't have MPH, which means then that you have to change or you have to slash it to say 40 miles an hour slash 64 kmh, which I think is a better way to do. Because if you're laying in cars that are not miles per hour and putting them to drive on a road that only caters for miles per hour, it will be confusing. But please check that one coming from the old Treasury coming up to enter into 4th Street, because that is a really headache. Too much traffic will be tied up in that area. Thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, caller, thank you so much. Officers?
Right. Well, I think that the caller made some good suggestion, especially in relation to coming from the traffic light. That will have to be assessed, and we can see what adjustment can be made. But I think at the end of the day, it's about the efficiency of the flow of traffic.
Right.
And so if it is that while trying to create a free flow at some point by adhering to a particular rule, it will create a congestion elsewhere on the back end, then it's something that we'll have to look at. And so I'm happy that that was pointed out. And so we will look at it and see how we can make it more efficient. In relation to the miles per hour, I am in agreement. The thing is that it must be synchronized with our laws, and so then it's something that I will have to take back and basically be certain as to whether that is in keeping, in sync with the interpretation of the law in relation to the correlation of the law and the signage. And once, I don't think that should be a problem, but if it is, then it's something we can consider and put in place.
The traffic sign in front of Sands Complex,
right.
If you're coming from west to east and you're trying to get out on Port Zante, it causes you to go all the way up into Newtown to find a spot to turn around, to come back down now and enter into traffic to enter onto Port Zante. Is there something that can be done in that intersection? I don't know if it could, like the same intersection down by the post office where it allows traffic to turn.
Yeah.
To end up out there, because then, as I said, if you're coming past the post office and going to Newtown and you want to end up on Port Zante, you can't turn because there is no right turn to enter into Port Zante. You would have to go all the way up, let's say past Newtown playing field, to go around that little roundabout there to get back onto the left side of the road to get onto Port Zante. Or you could do it the illegal way, just cross over the street where nothing coming and make an illegal turn.
And you're talking about coming from west?
From west to east. So let's say past the post office, past Pelican Mall, going up there, you can't enter into Port Zante, and Port Zante is one of the major shopping areas for the taxis. And so it would cause you to go all the way up into Newtown, sometime all up on the industrial side, to turn around to get back to the left side of the street to come down to get to Port Zante. That has been a headache.
As you're saying that, my mind is been searching, and what I'm thinking of is that because if you're coming from the west, you can turn up the street where old CNC used to be.
Okay, cool.
And you come across Draw Street, but the street by Fulton Bakery, that is currently a one-way.
Coming up, yeah.
So maybe we may have to look at it
and
see whether a one-way going down so that you can just come around.
Or can you change the traffic light to have one of the little, the traffic lights have the arrow, the green arrow.
Right.
Or that may be expensive to do, but
it will be easier to make the change, because if you're going to add anything to the traffic light, because everything had to synchronize.
Yes, yeah.
And things like that. So that will create a little bit of financial challenge.
So it might be easier just to make that a one-way. So you could just swing up by the old CNC, go across by Convent School, and come down by the bakery.
Yes, by the
and
bakery,
then you catch back.
And come back.
Okay.
So that is something we may have to do.
Yeah, we have.
And what that is as simple as it is re-engineering. And that's some of the things that in all of our traffic management, re-engineering is part of it.
Right.
because we are considering removing the Victoria Square, right across by the police station there.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's where the circus.
circle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we can make traffic more efficient. I know the caller before was asking
But
about
isn't there?
turning. I'm not
And
sure.
I don't know, but I mean, it must be there for a reason. Isn't there some kind of historical value to it?
I think there wasn't really significant pertaining to that location. I think what happened, it was in the square, and there was, some thing about it. There is no historical connection, and so then it was
the
advised
Victoria
to
Square
place.
is down by right down there by the Treasury. Where the person sell lemonade right there. What you
On the side right over there, where Bata was.
The garden.
Yeah.
Victoria Square.
But I'm told that it doesn't have any significance.
I don't know. I'm just asking. So will it be? So will it be moved or just?
There is consideration to move it and
put it somewhere else.
Yes. It will be put somewhere else. Even at the sugar factory area.
Mm-hmm. That little one up there too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That will be moved
That's
and put over
Finders.
Molyneux. Put in at Molyneux.
Yeah, that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go far out before you can see the traffic.
Right,
Yeah.
and we're still also considering the Buckley's area as to whether to put traffic light or put a roundabout when you come in by the movie area to get back onto the main road.
We need another roundabout.
Well, the efficiency of traffic.
Right. Yeah, it allows for the free flow of traffic.
Yes.
Why do you think we have too many roundabouts?
We have a lot and people don't know how to use them.
And
that's another thing. People don't know how to use them.
I believe the next time you guys come here, we need to, because I just see it. You enter into the wrong side of the roundabout and you enter into the right side and you're trying to cross over into the left side.
You're not supposed to change lanes in a roundabout.
You're
you keep the lane that you're in.
People don't know how to use
If
the
you intend to go right, you keep right.
It's just crazy.
If you intend to go left, you keep left.
Correct.
And when you're dealing with a roundabout, you always make sure if you're on the left or on the outside, there are two exits. You're either going to go left or straight.
Yeah.
And once you have
and it really should be common sense,
Yes.
Once you have that coordination, then you're good to go.
Yep.
But some persons don't want me to I just remember that I want to go by National Bank instead.
Yeah.
And so you don't matter who is in front of you.
You cut
just
over.
Flip
Right.
over.
Before we go, Jamila, we want to touch a little bit on the fines.
Okay, we could touch on the fines, but we have a lot of calls coming in. So can we take two calls and then you touch on the fines?
All the lines going
Oh, you
off
want
right
to
now.
touch on the fines first?
No,
because
go
they're
ahead.
going to
We
cause
take the
calls. Good afternoon, you're live. Can you turn down your radio, please?
Good afternoon, everybody in Radio Land, and good afternoon to hosts and the two panelists and presenters. Good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is quite a comprehensive, if not exhaustive, presentation on, it's a tour de force on road safety. And I am especially happy for the calls to help you to flesh out those areas that are still in dire need of improvement. We could always tweak things. I'm especially impacted this afternoon because my youngest sister, whose husband just died a little over a year ago. Everybody knows Lucine and Vaughn from Keys. 2 months later, a lady over there, to console her staying in her house, stepped out 2 months later after she buried her husband and was catapulted and knocked about 10, 15 yards. She never regained consciousness. She died. The speed at which people proceed through villages is, in a word, reckless. I want to stay here. I want to thank all of you for this program. Before I go, however, I I want to say two more things quite briefly in a minute and a half or less. The first being, I want to send a heartfelt word of gratitude out to the Dr. Drew-led Labour Party for getting out of Jamaica. They say it's going to hit hard. Every student from the Federation studying in UWI and sending a plane for them and getting them to a safe place of abode. Kudos to a compassionate government of which we should be proud. Lastly, and I'm not taking up 30 seconds, I always say of you, Jamie, and your counterpart, I call him the magician. He does everything well. He comes here with you, and that engineer and you create magic. And every time I listen to you, I think about Alexander the Great. You know that he died at 30, and one day when he was coming home, after one of his biggest victories, a victory parade, a beggar pump up your ceremony, a beggar ran out and said, Alexander, Alexander, have mercy on me. He threw him a golden coin. The general beside him, 5 minutes later, he was something like me loquacious, but he said nothing. So Alexander looked over to him and he said, is something wrong? He said, yes. He said, what's wrong? He said, you threw the beggar a golden coin, which is the equivalent of a year's wages when a copper coin would have done. That's a month's wages. Alexander answered, and I end here. A copper coin is suitable for a beggar's action, but only a golden coin is worthy of Alexander's giving. The standard starts and rests with you. Kudos to you two who are hosts, and kudos to Sergeant Bergen. Keep that standard aloft. And how could I forget about that lady, that professional who came from the bowels of Keon? We are so proud of you. You are worthy of emulation. I say that with all the sincerity of which I'm capable. Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pemberton. Thank you so much for that contribution. This is our final call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about what Nubian was speaking about in terms of coming from west to try to go into the sand, right? And you have to go all the way by Newtown, right? For me, if I really know how I need to do that, I just take a left into the sand. We go into the sands, come out, come back out of the sands, and then proceed to go on towards Zante from there.
Okay. Okay, caller. Thank you so much for that contribution. Nubian, you hear the suggestion. So, Sergeant McGuire.
But my truck don't fit between there. So
but the thing about it, to use that is not the proper use of the road. It's not safe because if vehicles are leaving the Sands complex, that can be an accident waiting to happen. And so we will discourage the use of that area in the manner that the caller would have just described. I will try my best and prioritize based on discussion with my superiors and see how quickly we can make the adjustment in relation to that suggestion. So,
okay, before you do that, right, because I think this is an important one. Someone says, how come the pedestrian crossings got less? I need them to consider the elderly especially. Are they less? They're less?
I wouldn't say that they're less. Less in terms of fewer crossings?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that. I
know some were removed because of the traffic lights.
Right. It's just
one right here too, in front of the Anglican church.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, and the one right here by the one by KFC.
Well,
Yes.
the one at KFC, that one has to be removed.
Yeah, this one because there's
Yeah.
a traffic light right here.
Yeah, and one right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were removed for good reasons in relation to the traffic light, because you don't. The last thing you want to have a pedestrian crossing where there is a traffic light, and remember I said that everything has to work in synchrony,
Mhm.
and so that might create a problem in relation to that.
Okay, in relation to that as well, can we get a little bit more time to cross the road there by College Street? When you're laughing and I'm dead serious. There by College Street, when you're coming from Lower College Street or Central College Street to go over by where the buses are, the light switch is very, very fast.
Very fast.
The other day there was an old lady trying to pass, with her stick, and the line, she wasn't across the road, she was barely in the middle by the time the light already switched.
I think it's 10 seconds. A 10
Yeah,
second
the
cross.
one at Hartford moved quickly as well.
Yeah, it moves really, really quickly.
So we may have to speak with Public Works engineer
Yeah,
and see
yeah.
if any adjustment can be made to that. So quickly, the fines. There has been an amendment to the Vehicles on Road Traffic Act in relation to the speeding, and the whole reason behind it is deterrence. So the fine has been increased, where you can be fined at a maximum of $4,000
For speeding?
for speeding. For speeding.
Is there a specific speed you go to and get a $4,000 fine? Or
Well, the thing about it, the amendment was made in consideration for driving without due care and attention, driving at a speed that is dangerous to the public, or dangerous driving. And so that is really because deterrence this is really where you have, ridiculous speed, in circumstances that result in serious accidents, that, for example, if there is bodily injury, it can increase. I think on the second offense, you can be fined $6,000. There's instance where you can be fined and license suspension. So it's not an option. If you are charged for reckless driving, dangerous driving, you can be fined and also have your license suspended. And so that is really geared towards in effort of reducing the fast driving. And so the photo radar is only a supplement to that, in relation to where you're being watched when you are not realizing that you're being watched. And so it's all part of the whole effort in behavioral change.
So hold on, because I just get the same question on my phone.
Yes.
So Rose could catch me on the Frigate Bay Road going at 120 miles per hour and give me a $4,000 ticket?
No. No, but that is only when you go to court.
Oh, when you go to court.
And you are found guilty, the magistrate has that option as a sentence,
right,
where you can be fined up to $4,000. It doesn't have to be that you fine $4,000,
right,
but the law provides the magistrate with
to
that.
go up to.
To go up.
Okay. So
$4,000 are imprisonment.
So if I'm going on the Frigate Bay Road, if I'm going 35 miles per hour in the 20 mile per hour zone, and Rose catch me, I could get a $250 ticket.
Yes, you can be ticketed for $250, but as I said earlier, we are not enforcing speed in a 20 miles.
When y'all stopped,
40 miles and over.
When did
we
y'all
had stopped,
Because, when
Well, you see, well, hold on, Jamie, because I'm trying to.
It was quite recent because.
Because I know somebody got a ticket. They were going 35 in that same tunnel.
Yeah.
You've been getting.
So that it's out of that. It's out of that.
Okay.
And the high command would have looked at.
So you're
the
trying to be
circumstances.
reasonable. Guys, so you can't be bashing the police like that.
Because it's the part of the discretion is what I'm trying to gear at.
Yeah.
Because now, if I go, let's say 50 miles per hour, I'll get a $250 ticket. Suppose
50 miles per hour in a 20-mile zone?
Let's call it in a 20-mile zone.
No, at 50 miles per hour in a 20-mile zone, you're looking at about $450 ticket.
So suppose...
Because remember, in the law, right?
Caters for
you
10
are given
miles per hour.
10 miles, right? And so every additional 10 miles over the speed limit is $100.
Okay, cool. So that means if you catch me going one something, then in a 40-mile zone, so by the time I reach 50, I get the first 50 free, then the 60, 70, 80, so 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Yeah. So that is an extra $500 on the 250. So my ticket would be $750.
Yes. That's correct.
Okay. I
You
just
remember
wanted
that
to
you
give...
would have said earlier in terms of the call some figures.
Right.
When she was responding to why people might have saying that is a revenue making money.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't really subscribe to that thinking. But the thing is, it's deterrence.
Right.
Right? And so if you're going to be that neglectful in relation to the compliance of the law, then you have to meet the consequence. And the consequence is that you are driving faster than you're required to.
Right.
And so this is the consequence. You pay $100 after every 10 miles on the minimum charge.
Right.
And the minimum charge is $250.
Correct.
So 10 miles above that 10 miles that they give you and so on is $100. So you go 70, you go 80, whatever, think about $100 more.
Correct.
And that $250.
Okay.
And I want to add something because Mr. Nubian, what persons fail to understand is this. Mr. Maguire spoke about the $4,000. Now, let's say, for example, I give you a ticket for $650. And you decide $650. I was not going so fast. I want to contest this in court. I am not paying $650. I am going to go to court on this. I think I can win Donnelly in court on this.
And you end up paying $4,000.
You end up paying $4,000. So it might be $1,500. It might be $2,000. But you can pay up to $4,000. Because sometimes what we need to do sometimes too is to look at where we are at and say, boy, is it worth it? Some persons feel they can go into court and say, oh, well, I have some questions I want to ask. Who does the calibration of these? Who does all of this work? I need to know. You know?
Right.
And so persons think that within themselves that they can win over and say the magistrate, because some person will have said to me, Donnelly, sometimes you go down there and the magistrate is in a good mood, you know, and he might just give me a warning, but he might be in a mood too, and he might say, okay, you have to pay $4,000. And listen, the magistrate does not give you a chance 2 weeks and 3 weeks, you know. $4,000 forthwith. So you have to have it, or you go and have a seat someplace else.
Well, let me just correct it. The $4,000 is just natural like that, right? In most cases, it coming out of being convicted for causing an accident, right? But in relation to the ticket, you can be fined, I think, $2,000, up to $2,000.
$1,500,
Yeah, with the ticket, just a ticket. Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you had it. I think
Correct.
you provided a lot of information and a lot of education, because a lot of times people just don't know, and people, some just don't care to know either. But at least once you're here and you're providing the information to the public, people cannot say that they did not. They were not aware or attempts were not made.
I just have one quick question before we leave. How does the discretion works? Because I remember I got a ticket one time from a particular police officer. We're friends now, and I'm a contractor.
So y'all were enemies before?
Well, it almost seems so. I parked on a yellow line to collect some materials, and there was no parking space in that particular area. And I parked there, and they came and they gave me a ticket for parking there. Checking, but Lord, man, I just collecting material. You ain't see me gone, no regular drink, nothing, no liming. I in here purchasing materials to put in my truck to go, and I got a ticket, and I went to court, and the judge said, because I felt it was unfair. I mean, I am working, there is no, all the lines were yellow, even in front of the business place, and the judge said, you could use your discretion now and again. I mean, can you admit that he was collecting materials? Yes, but it was a yellow line. You ain't supposed to park on a yellow line, so you got a ticket. And so how does the discretion work? Because sometimes somebody might say, somebody just called me, tell me that my house on fire, and so you expect me to drive 20 miles per hour to get to my burning house? Or you get something, I just get a call to go to the hospital, or I just get a call to do this very important thing. Right. And we human beings at the end of the day. So how does the discretion work? We always got to go to court to challenge it to get.
I will say the discretion is not absolute. It's given up to the officer at the time who is a judge in the situation. And so, even within the law, there is a discretion as to whether to arrest, whether to ticket, whether to warn. So the law allows for that. But that discretion comes back to the individual in relation to that. And so you're basically, speaking from my experience, right? You will find me more discretionate when a person show remorse or a person use the opportunity to find concession.
Right.
And so I will exercise my discretion more liberally than if somebody is like, you almost want to be wrong and strong and say, well, I had to go there. And so, and so that is thing. So my way of applying that discretion might be different from how another officer may apply it. But my standard is that, one, if I know that, for example, you are somebody who I consider very law-abiding, and the circumstance just permit at the time, and based on what your reason for why you would have done that, then once I find that reasonable, then I will consider not applying the law strictly, and so on, as opposed to where you are coming now and trying to say, well, you have something against me or whatever. That doesn't change the fact the offense has been committed.
Yeah.
And so I prefer when people recognize that they are in omission. And, not omission, they just do something wrong. And then they will come and say, officer, I'm sorry, and so in most cases, when you find persons that remorseful, it's very difficult for you not to really be discretionate in terms of that regard. So it's really down to the person.
But discretion should be one of police favorite words.
Yes.
And usable word. I think as a police officer, you must. Somebody's on their cell phone. Some persons are blatant. You might just be taking that important call, and the officer catches you, just like what Mr. Maguire is saying. But some persons say, you ain't see me, you know what they're doing, whatever. It's the same thing with a police officer who see somebody park on the yellow line and come up.
You don't argue with the law.
Move from here.
You don't argue with the police.
And then if I had said, excuse me, sir, why are you here? You would have said to me, officer, I am just waiting an old lady.
You have this training, you offer this training to your officers?
Of course.
Yeah. Because some of them...
And you, if I just said move from there, you're going to say to me, girl, you can't speak to me like that. Who you think you're talking to?
And then an argument ensues.
Yeah.
That's correct. And so we have to, we have to give and take.
Work together.
Work together.
Yes.
And learn to diffuse situations as well.
De-escalate,
Yes.
So it's 15 minutes past 3.
I'm telling you. Yeah, we want them back again, you know.
Definitely.
After you all take the suggestions to the high command and see how we could work together at the end of the day, we would invite you all back to tell the public, you know, about the new areas if you are going to take down the area up there and the next one.
I got a lot of messages about that,
and so
people, especially people from the Newtown area,
people would want to know.
They seem very upset by that comment. The removal of the Victoria roundabout. I mean, why? I don't know, but they seem to feel a connection.
I think the National Trust was consulted.
Okay.
So based on that, the information that has been provided.
And I mean, it will be relocated.
Yes.
It's not that you're going to discard it, no?
It will be relocated. Yes.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Where?
It hasn't been determined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so we want
the other one has been determined because there has been discussion with the Adventists and they agreed to have
put it in Molyneux.
In Molyneux at the roundabout. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So we want to thank you guys for coming. And I know very soon we're not going to be able to see Donnelly anymore. But I know she has a lot of videos on social media right there on 4th Street. So we'd always remember her.
She's the most popular police officer.
She is.
What, 2 million views on them kind of things?
Yeah, that's what's happening. So we have our own celebrity here.
Definitely.
And so she has always been somebody that you could look up to, somebody that could speak to. She's somebody that has always shown incredible discretion, public relations. She's somebody that could stop and talk to you about anything, anywhere, anytime.
And she's somebody who would come to your house and reason with you. And you know, you can call her and she would deal with the matter and that kind of thing. So we really appreciate.
December 24th is our final work day. And we intend to do that in a big way for her.
Definitely.
That she will, as her final act as a police officer, to come to the traffic point. And so we'll put it on social media. And persons come and,
Definitely.
She does live video, but and the media and so on.
Because we really appreciate your contribution and your service over the years.
Yes.
Yeah. Donnelly is one of the only police officers could call me at any point in time. Hey, Nubian, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And it's done.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. So, yeah, man.
Okay.
That's how it
So
is.
this is how we're going to end Hot Topics Live for this afternoon.
Donnelly wants to say something.
Yes, I wanted to give some closing remarks in regards to the radar.
Okay.
So that persons don't get sidetracked and so persons would understand the reason for us being here and the reason for the radar is the initiative was to represent is another step, modernizing all the things that we want to when it comes to road safety, enforcement in our federation. The traffic department remains committed and we are protecting lives and making sure our roads are safe for every user. And so with this rollout of the program that we would have had on radio stations before we would have been given the opportunity to come here, we've been speaking to the topic. And so we want persons to continue to call in, hear your views, because we accept criticisms, we accept the compliments as well, but they go hand in hand. We can't take the good without the sour. And so we want persons to continue to hear their views and just be respectful of the law. We invite the public to cooperate and to share the feedbacks and be a part of the building and the culture of safe and responsible driving. And please to understand that it is not about making money. It's saving lives by slowing down. Thank you so much.
Hold on there, quickly. So if the traffic radar catches me, how do Donnelly know? How do I get my penalty? Does it register my vehicle number and then I get an email, or I get a WhatsApp, I get a text, or Marshal Bailiff come and drop off the summons by me?
You know, I thought that I did that, but this is just how the images are. So then the photo radar will capture the vehicle, right? It is programmed, so the tickets are generated automatically. Well, when I say automatically, it doesn't mean that when you pass, a ticket fly out. No, it will capture that. It activate the it is programmed to a particular speed. When I say particular speed, I mean depending on the zone.
Right.
So once you go within that speed or above that speed, it activates the camera. And when it is activated, then all of the information in terms of the time, the date, the location, the speed and everything that is generated. And then we will now go and retrieve that information. And so we will serve you the notice, just like how we are issuing you a ticket, and then you go and pay it, or if you don't want to pay it, you go to the court, and then...
I was hearing that it would come to your email or something like that.
We are not there yet, because we recognize that a lot of people don't have email. So we are doing the personal service for now. What need to be told, though, is that if the driver, and the law provides for that, if the driver is not identified, the registered owner is liable.
So what about in the case of rentals?
In the case of rentals, the rental company. And so that is why we encourage. We're supposed to be having a public engagement.
But then how can the rental company control that?
Because
they have to put policies in place as to how they are going to retrieve recover the cost, but the law is specific to the registered owner. So even for companies like the TDCs and the Hasfords and so on, they are responsible. And if the ticket is not paid, then either a director or the secretary of the board will be taken to court in relation to that. And so I know that because the company is a legal entity, is a person, but you can't carry a company to court. So then the directors will be in that stead in terms of the liability.
Because if you rent me a vehicle and I was speeding today, but I'm scheduled to leave tomorrow,
right?
How soon would you be able to issue me that ticket to make sure I get the money from the person who rented my vehicle, so that I don't actually have a company
and
ticket?
So that is why we are encouraging the rental company to put things in place, whether you're going to take a deposit, whether you're whatever form. We cannot say, well, do this or do that. You have to work out for yourself as to how you're going to provide for in the event of such instance.
No, but if you take a week to bring the ticket, then I done gone a week now.
Yeah, but you have cards. Your customer have cards, and there are different other means. You can probably look at insurance.
We have to go.
Yes.
We're way over time.
No
but
problem.
again, this indicates that you have to come back.
Yes.
So you can, we can trash out these issues a little bit more. To all of you who chose to spend your afternoon with us, we say thank you for tuning in to Hot Topics. We'll be back here next week, Tuesday, and we'll bring to you another hot topic.
Another hot topic. I have not some young lady, but I have some ladies who actually does some intervention in the prison using meditation and other techniques, who are scheduled to come here next week, Tuesday. So we'll have those folks with us next week, Tuesday.
Okay, so another interesting program just for you next Tuesday. This is how we're going to end issues. Well, hot topics for this afternoon.
Freedom FM, 106.5 FM.
Hey there. Let's face it, life happens. Bills pile up, surprises pops up, and sometimes staying on top of